I've been recording for 9 minutes. This is going to be such a short video. Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So this week I am super excited about this video. If you couldn't tell from the title, we got a new little critter for our reptile family, and I'm so excited about it. Normally, if I get a new animal, I make sure that they are okay and settled in for at least a month before I mention them at all to you guys, but this one actually originally was bred at Josh's Frogs, and the person that I got him from off of Craigslist seemed like she was doing such a good job taking care of him, and I'm super excited about it, so I wanted to let you guys know and introduce him to you guys. In a video a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned a cave gecko, and my husband was super enamored with this animal.
This is a cave gecko.
There are a lot of reptiles out there. Oh, that is awesome looking.
Yeah, isn't that what that looks like?
No.
Okay.
All right, well, and we started looking more and more into this animal, and we just kind of felt like this was the right next animal for us. And we went on Craigslist, and there actually was one of these guys that was being rehomed. I'm so excited. So without further ado, let's introduce you to Mazikeen, my little baby cave gecko, and let's watch me set up her tank and all that jazz. So, since cave geckos are humidity-loving animals, the substrate for this tank is going to be eco-earth, and for the first time I actually got a bag of eco-earth instead of the little blocks because I wanted to try it out. And as always, just a super quick disclaimer, this is not a care video, and I'm going to show you how I set her tank up, but this is also not a setup video. I just got this animal a week ago. I'm just introducing her to you guys. This is not me telling you how to take care of this animal. I have never owned a cave gecko. This is my first ever cave gecko. This is not advice. Okay, disclaimer over. I don't know why I just didn't expect this eco-earth to be as dry as it is. So what I was trying to do was kind of pat it down to make it a solid surface because these guys don't really burrow, and then use the mister to spray and moisten it, pat it down, spray. Didn't work. I ended up just pouring a bunch of water in, mixing it all around to get it wet, and then packing it down pretty solid into this tank. Next, I'm just putting in the decorations. I actually set this whole tank up before I got her. So this is a 10-gallon tank, and that cave is way too big for her. I did not expect her to be as tiny as she was, and so I later had to make an adjustment to that cave. And I did have to make a couple of other adjustments too. Like I had a big blue water bowl in the back, and after I saw how small she was, I was terrified that she was going to hurt herself in there. And this wooden hide in the front, I also switched out. The lady that I got Mazikeen from actually had this really cool hide box. I was frustrated when I set this tank up because I couldn't find a human hide anywhere, so I was so excited about this little human hide. It is so cool. And this is the final setup with her food bowl, her hide box, and this smaller water bowl. Sorry that this whole video is like really dark. I blacked out the sides of this because she is very skittish, just to make her feel even more enclosed, and so the singular light coming out of the top and all the black walls do not translate very well to video. But here she is. She was being kept in this smaller enclosure. Her previous keeper had said that she was in a smaller enclosure and she had moved her to a bigger enclosure, but once she moved her, she had stopped eating, so she was moved back to this smaller container. That is one of the reasons that there is so much greenery in her current 10-gallon tank, because I wanted to make sure that she felt hidden, secure enough to eat, and she has been eating. And because she was so skittish, we didn't want to pick her up and put her in here, so we just kind of gently pulled the napkin out that she was on and let her crawl into the tank by herself. Like I mentioned before, she is originally from Josh's Frogs, so for those of you that are wondering, she is a captive bred high color Chinese cave gecko. She is so beautiful and she looks so healthy for a little 4-month-old baby, and I could not be happier that we were able to find her. And here she is discovering her food and water bowls on that first night. I'm so happy I switched out this water bowl to the smaller one because she is so incredibly tiny. And here we were on day 2. Not only did she completely clean out her food bowl, she ate all 5 of the baby roaches I had put in there on the first night, but she also pooped. So probably a little bit of TMI, but I was so excited. As previously mentioned, she is eating baby dubia roaches, but I wanted to try feeding her baby mealworms to see if she would eat them for a little bit of variety. She didn't eat a single one, so I guess she is not okay with mealworms. So we are, of course, gonna stick to the baby dubia roaches. Maybe next week or in the next 2 weeks, I might try some small crickets or something just to kind of mix up her diet a little bit since these guys are insectivores. But for right now, she's sticking to these tiny little dubia roaches. And here was her very quickly proving to me that this cave is way too big for her. You can see her little tail and her little hand under there. She's actually hiding under the leaves behind the hide. So to combat that, we just shoved a bunch of leaves into the hide, and that way she feels more secure hiding in there. And these guys do require humidity, so I am just spraying the tank down. I did notice that I can't really pump up the sprayer as much as I usually do on like the crested geckos and stuff because the water pressure scares her if it's too high. So here I was gently spraying, and so she gently comes out. The first time I did this before I knew, she darted out and panicked, so just something I have to keep in mind. She's doing really good so far, and she is really tiny. She's only about 4 months old, and I've had her for a week now, but she's doing so good. She has eaten every day. She's using the bathroom. She explored her new tank the entire first day. She's very skittish because she's a cave gecko, but she's doing so good. Eventually, we are going to move her to a bigger bioactive setup, but for right now, she is in this little 10-gallon tank until she grows some more, and we're super excited about her. But that is it for this week, guys. I don't have a sponsor this week, but I do want to shout out really quick reptileknowhow.com. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to kind of help advise and stuff for some of their bearded dragon care articles, and I said yes because it sounded fantastic. They had already been using some of my videos and stuff for their articles, so I thought it sounded like a really cool idea. So reptileknowhow.com is really cool if you need written out care guides for various animals, and I'll be helping on the bearded dragon ones, so just want to throw that out there. If you have not already, please feel free to follow me on my other socials and like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications every single time I put out a new video, which is every Sunday and some Wednesdays. This week's Instagram shout out goes to Reptile Zone for following me on Instagram and going through and liking a whole bunch of my stuff. And this week's subscriber shout out goes to Ella Schmidt for commenting on last week's video. Thank you guys both so much. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Good. Okay. As far as it goes. Good morning, reptilians. So, normally, if you couldn't tell from the title, and there actually was one of these guys available. The little baby dubia roaches. And this week's subscriber shout out. Blah. And those birds are loud.